Hello, how are you today? Today is Wednesday, November 4th, and this is episode 10 of the Crooked Little House. So that big 1-0. Welcome. So today we are just outside Flagstaff, Arizona, and it is brutally windy. Well, no, not brutally. Yesterday it was brutally windy. Today is just windy. Okay. So you may hear some wind, and we're in a parking lot of a casino, so you also may hear some trucks and generator noises, because apparently a lot of big trucks, I'm looking out the window because there's a big truck there, but we're in the parking area for big trucks and stuff. So anyway, hopefully you won't hear that and it won't be distracting. So we drove up here, and there was like some other RVs parked here, so we thought, okay, this must be the spot to park. So we pulled up along the edge so that our little door kind of went out onto this nice little open area, this little pond right outside here. Yeah, so last night about 6 o'clock, these guys came to drain the pond with a pump, and thankfully the pump ran out of gas around 9 o'clock. So they're back. They just started it up again. Anyway, I thought, oh look, we have our own private little lake. Ha. And now they're making a moat around the lake. It's still kind of pretty, but anyway. And yesterday we were in Flagstaff, and there was like a huge storm with like thunder, lightning, rain. Like it was like, must have been the first rain, because like all the drains were, clogged and big giant puddles. So we're about 20 miles outside of Flagstaff to the east, and we're like, okay, get out of here. And you could see there's blue sky all around, and it was windy when we got back to the trailer. We could see the storm was coming, and boy, did it come. Like the wind, I thought it was going to be like the Wizard of Oz, and we were just bashing back and forth, and then the storm came. The thunder and the lightning was like on top of each other, like bang, crash, whack, and I hate it. Like, I would have been under the blankets if I wouldn't have been so embarrassed. And then, I mean, it was like, I don't know, like God was furious at us or something, because then the hail came, and then the rain, and finally it stopped. And then we were told it was supposed to snow like 6 inches. So, although we saw a few flakes this morning, so far we're lucky. And we did decide to stay here one more day longer than we were going to, because the next place where we're planning to stay overnight was supposed to have snow tonight, but then it's going to have great weather. So anyway, Flagstaff, Arizona. It's really pretty, and apparently this is normal for this time of year. So since the last episode, which my notes tell me was October 18th, so in a couple weeks, we spent 5 days each at Zion National Park and the Grand Canyon, and they were both awesome for their own reasons. But if I was going to go back to one of them again, and I have been to the Grand Canyon now twice, but I think I would go back to Zion. It had more things to do for more people, and by that I mean me. There was like more hiking trails for all levels of people, as well as biking and a lot of other things, and not as many crowds of people. I also, and I don't know if it was just the particular people that we met, but I also found that the people there were a lot more friendly. But the Grand Canyon, I mean, like it's amazing. I mean, you just can't help but stand there with your mouth hanging open. But what I found is, like, because you're looking at it, like, you know, you're observing it. But in Zion, you're in it, and it's all around you, and you're hiking up into it. So they're both worth going to. We really enjoyed both of them, so I'm glad that we went. So this episode I have knitting, of course. I have some spinning. I have some acquisitions, and I'm going to talk about a special project. So knitting. I think I have too many works in progress because I'm not getting a lot done on any of them. But this time, the reason I'm not getting a lot done on any of them is because I'm working on my special project, which I will tell you about at the end of the episode. So I do have a finished object, and this wasn't even a work in progress last time. So this is like a start and a finish all in one. So this is in my Off to See the World bag that my friend Maria made me for Christmas last year. And of course I have not woven in my ends. Like, I actually honestly did think that I had. So this is, I'm gonna make sure this is right side up so you can see it, another washcloth. I'm trying to make, can you see it? Maybe. Turn it angles. Okay. I'll try to make a project page. I forgot to make one for the last one. Anyway, this is called Oh Nuts, and again, it's by Elaine Fitzpatrick. So I just used the chart, and I will weave in the ends, and I just used Bernat Handicrafter, less than a ball, and this is for my granddaughter Penny, so I will mail this to her, because of course she likes to be nice and clean when she's eating. So these are really fun to make. Nice, you know, just when you want to pick up something. And I'm practicing my continental knitting, and what do you think? It is getting better, I think. So I'm making these like all continental knitting, so I'm not combining anything. So I do have other finished objects, but I'll show you them in the special project section. Spinning. I have some spinning that's not horrible like last time. So I showed you an art bat that I bought at the Folk Life Fair. Sorry for the crinkling. So this one I bought from Feathergrass Fiber, and she's in Idaho Falls, Idaho. So this was 1.75 ounces, and I didn't waste any of it. So you can see, okay, I have not soaked this or thwacked it, so it's pretty balanced. And it does have nubbies, but they are supposed to be there because it was an art bat. And I'll just show you my spinning is pretty even. Well, okay, I say that, and then here's this, but that was in the art bat. I'm very happy with this, and I'm not sure if I will put it into a knitting project, or if I will spin with it. But what I have is 90 meters of it, so maybe like about 95 yards, or no, I think that would be 100 yards. So pretty happy with it. I'll make a necklace out of it. Okay, so I will. Anyway, smells like sheep. Also, I started spinning this, which the guy tried to tell me was a zebra sheep, and I'm just looking for the guy's name, because it's in here. Right, here it is. Okay, so this is what I bought also at the Folklife Fair in, what's that place called, honey? The Trailing of the Sheep. Ketchum, Idaho. Lynn and Ann Nelson, and they're from Cedar City, Utah. So Nelson Woolworks. So this was 4 ounces of roving targhee, and it had some targhee cross, a little bit of Suffolk. So this is the prep. So it's really, like, the spinning is so easy. It's like it's got dark brown, some gray, and white. And it's spinning up into this heathered. And for some reason, I can only spin one weight. I would have liked this to be a little chunkier, so I might have to do 3-ply, but here, can you see that's pretty fine. And I think when it plies, it'll be really pretty. So it's quite springy. I've never spun targhee before, but I have spun Suffolk, like pure. It's quite springy. I do kind of like it. So we'll see. I have quite a bit left to spin. I'm just, every now and again, I spin for half an hour. It's a bit cold to be spinning outside, so just inside when I have some time. So I have quite a bit left and really enjoying it. Quite a lot. It spins really easy. Oh, I love the smell of sheep. We've seen quite a lot of sheep I was going to say on the side of the road, but it's not like they're just wandering around, like in farms on the side of the road. So, it'd be really nice to be able to get like some more local roving or fiber, like when I run out of this stuff. I'll just get rid of this. I'll show you that again because I'm really proud of it. So I'm happy that I brought my spinning wheel all this way, and that I am getting some spinning done because I was always too busy at home when we were working on it. So I guess I said, did I tell you? We're in a parking lot, but we're in a parking lot at a casino. And so we're at the Twin Arrows Casino, which is a really nice, I think it's a resort casino. Anyway, it's, I was going to say First Nations, that's what we call them in Canada, but it's a Navajo casino. And the people here are really awesome, nice, friendly, outgoing. We have had a few meals here, which we have really enjoyed, and so of course we have been gambling. So I had a massive win at the slot machines the other day, and of course that meant we had to go to the yarn shop. So my massive $7 win, because I am not a huge gambler, and I was planning to buy some needles that I needed, which I did get. So I ended up spending a little bit more than $7. In fact, I spent $70. But now I'll just go back, and I'm not going to do that. It's like, oh, I'll just go back and win the money. So that never happens to anybody. I mean, that's how you get yourself into trouble. So we found a yarn shop in Flagstaff, which we went to yesterday. Well, Michael drove me to it, and I went into it. So it's called Pearl in the Pines. And here's the business card. And their website is www.pearlinthepines.com. And it was lovely. Not huge, but huge enough. And when I got there, a young lady was wearing a shop sample that was gorgeous. And she asked if we were traveling. And then when I said yes, she made sure to show me the local dyer's yarn, and also some local yarn that I may not have come across. So that was very nice of her. So I spent quite a bit of time. Usually when I go into a yarn shop, I go around and I just notice everything. Then I go around again and pick out what projects jumped into my head, and then I have to go around and like pare it down and pick one or two items. So I actually saw something there that I have heard about and I have never seen in a shop, and people will probably laugh at me when they see it because I think it's pretty common. And sorry again for the crinkling, but it is lamb's pride. So I did get a couple of different weights to try it out. So this is I got worsted in 2 colors. So I got 1 skein of each color. So this, of course, is Brown Sheep Company in Mitchell, Nebraska. I didn't realize it's a single, which I like, but I'm really attracted to them because they're so rustic. And it does smell like sheep. So there's 4 ounces in each skein, which is 113 grams, and there's about 190 yards in each skein. So this one is called Blue Magic, and this one is called Gray Heather. And I like that quite a bit. And then I also got some of the what they call bulky, and what do you know, some Gray Heather, and Tormented Teal. It's a knotty yarn, so it goes very nicely together, and I quite like it. So these are also 4 ounces, and there's 125 yards in skein. Oh, it's 85% wool and 15% mohair, both of these. So I'm going to try it out. And what I actually went in for were some Knitter's Pride circular needles to do some sleeves. I probably could have made do with something I had, but it was really cumbersome, and I was not wanting to pick up that project, and I would like to finish it. So I will use these lots, and I've found that investing in good tools is a really good investment. I like Knitter's Pride a lot, especially their circulars, like their short circulars for doing projects at 2 at a time, or 2 at a time, but doing circular projects, I'm really enjoying them. So that was Pearl in the Pines. I really enjoyed it. If you're in the area, definitely drop by the shop. And if that's your local yarn store, you're really, really lucky. They have a wide variety, and I overheard the shop owner actually making a special order for a customer, and so I thought that was a really good service. There were, in addition to the shop owner, there were 2 other people working in the store at the same time, and you know, although I was greeted right away and shown something that I may be interested in, I was left alone enough to look around, so I wasn't, you know, I didn't feel like I was being, what do you call it, invaded, my space invaded the whole time. So I really enjoyed my shopping experience there. So definitely I would I would put that on your list of yarn shops if you're in the area. So, while we were in Flagstaff, we also visited a military surplus store. Well, I didn't. I sat in the truck and knit. And my husband went inside, so he enjoyed that quite a lot. And we went to some thrift stores, which I was really disappointed in. But, of course, I did find some things. So, I love thrift shops. I love finding treasures. I know lots of people don't like thrift stores because they feel like it's like other people's junk or whatever, and if they don't want it, then... But I don't know. I think, for me anyway, they're lots of fun, and if you don't like them, then that's fine. You don't have to go there. But when we were in Arizona 3.5 years ago, which was our honeymoon, we did go to some, actually a Goodwill thrift store. I can't remember if we went there on purpose or if we stumbled across it, but we both remember going there. And we both remembered liking it because it was like small and cozy, and I don't know if we bought anything there, but anyway, we both remembered it. When we got there, it was not what we remembered. It was, I think, I don't know what you call it, like a warehouse place. Anyway, there were like giant tubs of stuff, like it was thrown in tubs, and people were wearing gloves and like pulling stuff out of it. There weren't a lot of people there, but it was a different experience, and not what we expected. And then they had shelves and shelves of smaller bins, which seemed more reasonable. And they were somewhat organized, although like one bin would have like a whole bunch of books, and then maybe like 2 shelves over and 5 bins down there were like more books. So like not really, but it was sort of like each bin was like a category. So there'd be like a whole bunch of like adapters for electronic things in one bin, and then maybe a bunch of picture frames or like wicker baskets in another one. So like if you weren't interested in that kind of stuff, then you didn't have to go through it. So anyway, what this is all leading to is I did find some stuff there. So I found yarn. This is Lang Yarns called Tosca, and it is 55% wool and 45% acrylic, and it's all these pretty little pastel colors, which I thought would make something really cute for a baby. So I picked that up, and I picked up this silver spoon for my daughter because she makes spoon rings. And I got this piece of cotton quilting fabric, which is, look at this, isn't this cool? It's got all these cowgirls on it with names. So this is about, I think it's probably half a meter. And it says Buckaret's The Alexander Henry Fabric Collection from 2004. So I think that's going to make a really fun project bag. In fact, I think I might know, anyway, a really fun project bag. And I also got 5 older from 2010 knitting magazines. I might have read these before, but I don't really remember anything from them. So when I see old knitting magazines and stuff, I pick them up and I read through them again. And then we don't have a lot of storage and stuff in the trailer, so I might rip something out of it and keep it in a binder, and then I can just toss them or redonate them if I haven't ripped anything out. And I don't mind to do that. I don't want to buy a bunch of new magazines and then carry them around for like 7 more months in the trailer. So this, and this, and this, and this And my husband bought an old book of prints. Was like $2.25 or something like that. It was really, so it wasn't, $2.25 for everything. Yeah. So it was not bad, but I did have to wash my hands when I left. Like the whole time I was in there, I was like, "Don't touch your face! Don't touch your face! Don't touch." And I'm a face toucher, so so as soon as we got in the truck, I had to get the wet wipe. So it wasn't. But I thought that was pretty good for a couple of bucks. So pretty happy with that. So I will, if I find something interesting at the thrift stores, then I'll show ya. All right. So the last thing I wanted to talk about was my special to me project. So I have 3 nieces, and they're my sister's girls, and they are triplets. So they just turned 14 in August. Now, my sister tried for years and years and years to have children. So she was 38 when she had the girls. So she went through, she had some miscarriages and some ectopic pregnancies, and then finally she was having in vitro treatments. And this, the very last treatment was the last, like the one that took or worked, was the last treatment that she was going to have because of her age and the number of treatments that she had already had. So she ended up with 3 little girls, and they're wonderful young ladies right now. So I had the privilege of spending a week with them in May. Now, the sad part of the story is that my sister passed away 8 years ago, and she fought first lung cancer and then brain cancer, and finally, and it was a blessing because she really was not, it wasn't my sister in the end. After about 2 years, succumbed to the horrible disease. And in this past year, I think cancer is always affecting us, like we always know people or hear people, but particularly in this past year, cancer has once again felt very near to us. We have, my husband has a brother-in-law whose both parents, one parent has had cancer for quite a while, and she's quite near the end. And his father, he was diagnosed, and then he went very suddenly, and the mother is supposed to go very soon. And my one of my very best girlfriends, her father-in-law, he passed away from pancreatic cancer, and then about 9 months later, her own mother also passed away from exactly the same cancer. So after I visited with my nieces in May, I guess I'd been hiding under a rock, really in denial. And then I don't know if just all these things just sort of brought it forward in my head. I realized that, cancer is still there, and even though we're doing research and we're spending money, we still have a long way to go. So when I was deciding on what to do for Christmas for the girls, I decided to make them mittens. I decided to design the mittens, and then I decided to sell the mittens in an ebook, and all of the profits from the sales I would donate to cancer research. So I have started, and I think I've made good progress. So like the triplets, they are similar but different. So the first mitten, so these are not blocked, so the next time you see these, they're going to be better. So these are going to come in 2 sizes each, sort of a small, medium, and a medium large. So, and each pattern is going to have 2 options for the ends. So this one is a geometric pattern, and this one is a cable pattern with a bit of seed stitch. So they're very similar patterns. Well, not very similar patterns, but they're similar patterns, but they're different. And then here's a rounded top. So they have a gusseted thumb, so there's a definite left and a right. Gusseted thumb and a twisted rib cuff. And they're also going to have, the pattern is also going to have instructions for making fingerless mitts as well as mitts. So it's going to be a really good value. I am going to sell the mitts as individual patterns. And what I'm going to do is the money from those ones is not going to go to cancer research. But I'm making the ebook only $1 more. And I'm really going to encourage people to buy the ebook instead of the individual patterns. Because of the value. And there's going to be, so you'll get 3 mitts for only $1 more. And I think, like, you know, instead of $5 for one pattern, you'll get three patterns for $6. And the reason I'm doing that is if people do only buy one pattern, then that'll cover off the cost of the yarn and the tech editing. So 2 are done, sort of. So here's the first mitt, the green one. So I asked the girls their favorite colors, and we got turquoise, lime green, and pale pink. So as I was looking at these mittens today and seeing how close I was done, look at this. You see this? Yeah. I have 2 right mitts. So this one has to be frogged all the way down to here. So fortunately it's not a huge amount of knitting because it's DK, but yeah, I wrote the pattern and I cannot follow it. Because obviously none of the triplets have 2 right hands. Well, not obviously, but I mean, none of them do. So kind of disappointed in that. But anyway, so this one is a textured pattern, a cabled pattern, and we're going to have a little bit of a lace pattern. And the yarn I'm using is Bergère de France Chinellon. I love this yarn. So it's 50 grams, 1 3/4 ounces, 140 meters, 153 yards. So here's the pink. This is how it comes. And it's 56% acrylic, 30% wool, 10% alpaca, and 4% viscose. And the viscose, I'm thinking, are all these little nubby bits. It is soft and airy and light. It's not really tightly twisted. And I am definitely, when we get home from our trip, going to buy some of this and make myself a pullover, like a yoke pullover with color work. It doesn't smell like wool, like sheep's. But I love this yarn, and it seems to go a long way because I have a lot left from each of these mitts. So I should have, by the next time you see this, or see me, I should have all the mitts done, and my pattern should be out for tech editing. So very, very soon I will have the patterns out, and I will let you know when it's out, and I really hope that you'll support my special project. I will be keeping records, so obviously if you anyone who requests it, I will show you my sales records, and I will post on the pattern page periodically. So this is going to be in perpetuity, not for a period of time, so forever and ever and ever. All the proceeds of the ebook sales will go to cancer research, and most likely it'll be the Canadian Cancer Association, but I'll have to do a little bit more research because I would like to find out, you know, how much money they use for administration and stuff like that. But anyway, that is everything I have for today. Thank you so much for joining me. I will talk to you again soon. Please go and check out the group on Ravelry, which is my crooked little house. I've been posting some photos in there of our travels. I'd really love, some people have been posting, sharing their finished objects. So I think I'm going to start a thread for sharing finished objects and an introduction thread. So please come in and join the group if you haven't already. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't. Thanks for joining me. I'll talk to you next time. Happy knitting. Bye now.